Jai Swaminarayan. Welcome to our e-learning classroom. Today we are going to learn English poem of Standard 10 in English subject. The title of the poem is Dust of Snow. It is written by Robert Frost. So first we know about Robert Frost. Robert Frost was American poet. He was born in San Francisco in California. In his lifetime, he won more than one Pulitzer Prize. He has written many poetry collections. We can see one poem from his many collections. So now I start first stanza of this poem. So we discuss about it. The first stanza is, the way a crow swooped down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. So here, poet is sitting under a tree, and on the same time, one crow is sitting on that tree, and poet is under that tree. So he shook is here past form of shake. So crow shook down some dust of snow. That dust of snow fall on the poet, who are sitting under a tree, and he was very sad on that time. And the one another word is here, which is very new for us, that is hemlock. It is a kind of tree. It is a carnivorous kind of tree, and it is very poisonous tree. We can see this in North America, particularly in eastern side. Okay, so here we go ahead on that another stanza. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. So the second stanza is connected to the first stanza. As we can see that crow, there is crow which is sitting on the tree. Poet is under that tree, and he shook some dust of snow, and that dust of snow fall on that poet, and on the same time poet's mind will completely change. At that time he was very sad, but of that small particle of dust can change his life. The second stanza, that has given my heart, is the same. Here we can say his heart was changed by that dust of snow, and his mood changed on that time, and save some part of a day I had rued. Rued means here regret. Felt sad, we can say also. Felt sad, or we can say regret. So that small particle of snow can save or change the poet's mood, and that small particle saved his whole days. Why he saved his whole days? Because poet was very sad, and he has no any kind of mood to do anything, any other kind of activities, so that things can change. So in this poem, poet shows us that crow, which is very commonly not good omens in our culture. It is not good omens here, we can say, but poet shows it differently. He shows that a crow can change his mood. He shows it in a good way. Then another thing is here, this is symbolic thing he used. Crow shook that tree, that is the symbolic things poet use here. Not generally people mind will change after we thought that crow is not good omen, it is a bad omen, but now here it is shows that it is good omen, but it is symbolically poet use here. And that's very important part is here snow, which fall on that by shaking that branches of trees, that on sitting on hemlock tree, that crows shake that, and it completely changed. And the main thing is here dust of snow, that small particles on that seasons spreading on the branches of that hemlock tree. Snow falls and it spread on the branches of trees, and it falls by shaking branches, and it happened by that crow. So here this is symbolics, we can say that, and the only things we can learn that by that things or by that small incident, poet mood was completely changed, and he start feeling sooth, we can say good. He started feeling good from that time. Now we can see, after the explanation of the poem, we can see which figures the poet used here. So in the first two lines, poet used metonymy. Then the another two line also followed by the same figure. In the second stanza, poet use, for the first two line, poet use synecdoche. And the next two line, which is the last of this poem, poet use alliteration for these two line. Okay, now we can see the explanation of this figure. First one is here metonymy. Metonymy, when an object is designated by the name of something which is generally associated with it, it is called metonymy. Object is designated by the name of something, that means it designated is connected with some other things. At that time, we can use the figure here, metonymy. Some examples is also given here. Martels and ivy, symbol standing for position and frame. The crown here shows the king. So do not use the name of the king, but they use here the crown. So it is associated with the whole part. The another example is the bench, as the same, the chair, cradle to grave, the pen is mightier than the sword. Metonymy, we can use metonymy in another way also. This is common information about it. The first note is here, the sign or symbols for the thing or person signify. So we can use this as a symbol or as a sign which we shows for person or things, or which person or shows it signified. The same different example, cradle to the grave, infinity to death. So here cradle to the death, cradle to the grave shows death. So do not use the word death, but the death signified the another word, that is grave. The second figure of speech is here synecdoche. When a part is used to designate the whole, or the whole to designate a part, or as abstract for concrete or concrete for abstract, it is called synecdoche. So the example, a hand unhooked the chain. Part of for the whole, the man did it, not the hand by itself. So by this example, you can understand that a hand unhooked the chain. So hand use here a part in place of whole body. So man can did it, not his only hand can did it. So here this example signified completely synecdoche. The another examples is also given here, you can read it. And the third figure is used here, alliteration. So alliteration is very easy one for you all. When similar sound or repetition of similar letters are used to produce poetic effect, it is called alliteration. Alliteration, which means the same sound repeat again and again, or the same letter repeat it again and again in different word. Example, the Chinese sips on the Chinese sea. The sound of ivy is repeated with good effect. Initially, sound of Y and Y are effectively repeated. So here sound is also repeated, and the letter, that is SS, which is also repeated second time. So it is completely called alliteration. Now the poem is over. Thank you.